Manchester United 4, Leeds United 2. What a game of football for the neutral. Heartbreaking for Leeds United fans. Heart attack for Manchester United fans. A collapse at the beginning of the second half. Was history about to repeat itself? Were Man United about to throw away more points in the top 4 race? Show their lack of heart, show their lack of desire again. No, Manchester United stood strong. Manchester United showed heart. Manchester United showed resilience, and they came back. What a brilliant substitution from Ralph. Fred with one of the most important goals and moments of his Manchester United career. And then Bruno, I don't have Tekers Fernandez, with a BERGKAMP-esque skill, sets up Ilanga, 4-2 to Manchester United. This is the Top 6 Match Reaction Show. Hit that like and share button, people. Let's do this.
Absolutely magnificent.
Today's show is brought to you by our sponsors at Boohoo Man. You can get up to 40% off their entire clothing range right now by using promo code TFT. The link's in our description below, along with the promo code. Go check it out at the end of your time watching the Football Terrace today. Summer's on the way. People are in the gym. There's even stuff for the people that look a little bit awkward, a bit short like me, a bit tall like others, a little bit chubby like I am as well. Go check it out, people. Get your big discounts in now, courtesy of the Football Terrace. What a day. What a game. I've been through every single mixture of emotions. And let's break this game down back to the beginning. Panel coming later. We're going to break down some of the incidents. But let's look at this. And by the way, I don't expect to see any of the rivals here today. They can go cry somewhere else. I bet they were ready to come chat to the terrace when it was 2-2. Leeds started well, and they were up for this. And you know what's in 18 years? I need to stress this to you kids. 18 years, this fixture hasn't happened. This fixture at Ellen Road with fans. 18 years. That's a generation of not seeing this game. Some people were born and are now grown men and women, and they've never seen this game. The cacophony of noise, the angst, the aggression. Proper football. Today was a proper football match. And Leeds started off in the opening 20 minutes in an exhilarating way, crunching into tackles, being the first, looking dangerous on the counter. And United had to weather the storm. And they did it brilliantly. And they got Ronaldo missed an open goal again. About the 20th time he's done that. He should be on about 30 goals this season. No, he shouldn't, but he's missing loads of them. Pogba doing his bit, and United slowly started to dominate, slowly started to take over. And do you know why that was? Because we fought back. We gave it back. We crunched into tackles. We hurt them like they were trying to hurt us. Proper derby. This is a real derby. Do your history between Manchester and Leeds in a football sense, geographical sense, historical sense. The Battle of the Roses, bruv. This is a real deep-lying medieval rivalry. Do your history. United take a 2-goal lead. One of the best passes you'll ever see in your life. One of the best crosses from Sancho. The way he dinked it up over 2-0. You go in at half-time. You think jobs are good. And second half. Yes. Their first goal back was fluky. Luck. But they fought for that. They came out all guns blazing. And they caught United cold. Just like Amir Khan getting sparked with a jab last night. Caught, stunned, chicken leg. Was it a foul on Bruno Fernandes? Listen, it's 50-50 out there across social media. Was it a foul? Weren't it a foul? I don't know. I don't like those kind of fouls being given. It's a proper game of contact. Some will say it should have been a foul. What I will say is this. There was 5 fouls given in the next 10 minutes after that were soft. Like little nudges they're given. That wasn't. But they score and it's 2-2. And you think, here we go again. Rivals like this. Terry's getting his bottle job titles ready. Everyone's getting ready to rant. Everyone's getting ready to cry. Everyone's getting ready to moan. Rivals getting ready to laugh. Thought it was going to be history repeating itself. And for the first time under Ralph Rangnick, in my opinion, And today's performances weren't perfect. We'll get into that later. But the team galvanized, found its feet, came together, and went for it. And when Pogba was taken off, I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Is this a mistake? Fred came on and changed the game. Fred was excellent in every element of the match. In fairness, Leeds United is like the perfect team for Fred, to be fair. And he came on and he helped settle us. Of course, he got the goal. And it was a well-worked goal by Man United. Sancho getting his second assist of the game. I will add, he's starting to cook a bit now for Man United, which is good to see. Made it 3-2. And then after that, really, we were getting in control. Alanga had a chance to make it 4. He didn't. And then right at the end, the touch, the skill. People say Bruno has no technique. Legitimately, people say that he has no technique. It's always staggered me how people say Bruno Fernandes has no technique. It's a madness. It's a madness thing for me, for people to think that, in my opinion, that he has no technique. He does. And it was an excellent piece of skill. Not as good as BERGKAMP. BERGKAMP went on to score. It was a little cleaner, but it was BERGKAMP-esque. And the original's always better. Do you know what I mean? It just is. And it was excellent. Alanga gets his goal. United get the win. And for the first time in a while, although we had the wobble in the game, I always look at the performance and the turnaround. The way we were able to galvanize and come back was important. Away from home at Ellen Road. And the most impressive thing today, it was a throwback game. The ball weren't moving. The pitch was like semi-waterlogged. There was slide tackles going in everywhere. There was a bit of argy-bargy. And I asked for this today. I asked for this from these Manchester United players. I said, if those rumours are not true, come together and fight. And I felt they did that today. If they would have put this much heart into the Villa game, the Borough game, the Southampton game, the Burnley game, they would have won those matches. Your setup, your formation, your style, your coaching are all very important elements of the game. I hear so many football fans now talk about football like it's science. I was chatting with Jermaine Beckford this morning. He's talking about football's basic. Sometimes you just need a long ball over the top. Sometimes you just need to go into a tackle and crunch someone. And you do. Manchester United versus Juve, Champions League semi-final. Rightfully, Roy Keane gets all the plaudits. People don't remember one of the most decisive moments in that game. United were getting peppered. Peter Schmeichel, moments before our corner, moments before the goal back in the game, pulls off a wonder save. His save lifted our fans, lifted our players. There was a moment. Sometimes it can be a brilliant tackle. Sometimes it can be a great challenge. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a to and a fro, a bit of a push and a pull between the players. You need that. It's imperative. People go, oh, you're just a Brexit thing. Bruv, you're telling me the Italians, the Spanish, you're telling me French people lack passion. What are you talking about? Their food is literally passion on a dish, bruv. It's not. You need it. It was great to see today. I'm not happy with every element of the game, and we're going to delve into that with the panel really soon. But I'm proud of the overall performance. I'm exceedingly proud of the fight. The fight, for me, is what I've been asking for, and we did it today in abundance. And that is what you need if you're going to win games. That is what you need. What you need if you're going to progress within football. It's as simple and it's as straightforward as that. Do me a favor and smash that like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. I love the fact that no rivals have turned up in the comment section today. Where are you? You're here for the draws. You're not here for anything else. I'm going to drink them tears. Give me a sec. That's the thing. Listen, Arsenal still favourites for the top 4. Spurs and Arsenal still got games in hand. We've got a long way to go. Just happy with the performance. United are nowhere near back. There's a long, long way to go. Yes, we might have only lost 1 game in 13 since Ollie's been sacked, but we're still not where we want to be. But I was happy with that turnaround. I'm happy with that fight. In isolated moments, very happy with today. Very happy with it. Very, very happy indeed. Someone here says, calm down, Terry. You're meant to be challenging and you're scraping the Champions League. Yeah, Danny, I know that. And that's why I called for our manager to be sacked. And that's why I've lambasted and criticized my team. But when I get a performance I'm happy with, I'm not just going to go, well, I'm not going to be happy at a good performance ever again until we win the league. That's a bit weird for me, Danny. I call Lee Gunner out for it all the time. So why would I then go and hypocrisize myself by behaving in the same way? Not going to happen, Danny boy. The pipes are calling, Danny. You're not going to get me on that one. Terry playing the underdog. No, we should be beating Leeds. Who said we were the underdog? Doogie Burns. Come on. Try harder. Do you want a pen? Do you want to go away and write it down? Do you want to try harder with the banter? I'll give you a pen. Give you some paper. You can try again. Good try. Nicola here says, Chelsea aren't safe. Spurs and Arsenal and United are winning. Listen, I think they are now. I don't think Arsenal, Spurs and United won enough games during Chelsea's little hiatus and their bad performances, but we will see. Terry said he will have McChicken over Party. What a clown. Listen, one, people have got to learn to take a bit of a joke. Secondly, I don't want either. Thomas Partey's been poor in the Premier League. Imagine swapping one for the other. Do you know what I mean? What's the point? The subs and tactical changes were perfect today. They were, and I have to admit, when we brought on Varane, I got worried. I thought, what message is that sending? What message is that sending? Is that sending a message of we're scared, we're worried, and is it going to bring Leeds onto us? I didn't really know what to make of it. That wasn't really the case in the end. United saw it through, and they were very, very good indeed. Thank God we got the second and third. Third and fourth. Was about to use the Thai excuse. It was raining. Shout out to Pogba, Maguire, Fred, and Lindelof. Bruno being Bruno. Yeah, I have to say that today on that. I thought Maguire had a very good game, and I weren't happy he started, but I'll always call out things when they've got to be called out, and he did very, very well indeed. Fred came on with brilliant. I thought Lindelof's driving runs were excellent. Pogba just was great. I was sad to see him go off, but we have got Atletico in the week. And yeah, Bruno being Bruno, a goal and an assist for him today. And look, does he make mistakes? Yeah. Does he miss things? Yeah. But he's brilliant for us. And that skill, that little touch. Honestly, I actually went onto some Man United fans' accounts after he did that. It's like they deactivated, they were gone. Not one bit of praise. Crazy. A man like Sam here says Bruno was phenomenal. Yeah, he was, my friend. United still have that weakness of opening up right after you concede. The mentality still isn't quite there yet, but today was an improvement. I hear you on that. There's a long way to go for this Man United team. Signings, coaching, pre-season, new manager, a long way to go, but it was good to see the fight back. I want to say as well, I know we praise all those other players. Sancho needs a massive shout out today as well. Absolutely excellent. And he's just slowly but surely getting better and better and better and better in a Manchester United shirt. There's no doubt. Big win, big mentality after conceding. Needed that consistent from United. I thought Victor was man of the match, by the way, against Leeds. Yeah, I think a lot of people would. Look, everyone. I think Sancho deserves a man of the match. But if you pick Bruno, I'm not arguing. You pick Lindelof, I'm not arguing. Those guys. In fairness, look, I was quite happy with AWB's performance as well today, defensively. Do you know, if he could just have if he was a bit better on the ball, do you know how good he'd be? So good defensively today, in my opinion. But then I like that kind of defending, I suppose. Robbie Singh here says, 139th attempt at a corner and we score. Had to be the guy who's been talking all week. Listen, Maguire has spoke. He had to deliver. Not only got a goal, his performance was excellent today. Can't be taken away from him. He was great. It's simple and as straightforward as that. He was great. That's it. Simples. I'm going to bring the panel out now, people. We've got Alfie on the show. Sunshine's here with us. Oh, my Dizzy is here. We've got Alfie here with us too. I thought Danny was coming on. I'm not too sure where Danny is, but we'll try and get him out in a minute. Keep them super chats coming. Lots to talk about as well. I want to speak about the collapse and why we think it's happening. What can this result do for us as a team? We have got to speak Sancho. Where's he going? What's he going to be doing? I need to have a chat about Bruno as well. Any questions that you've got, please get them in for the panel. We want to hear from you on the terrace. I want a big shout out, by the way, as well. Yesterday was our second biggest. Man United getting beat by Liverpool was always going to be the biggest in-studio stream we've ever done. But yesterday is the second biggest studio stream we've ever done before for the Man City-Tottenham game. So thank you to everybody that made that possible. Hit that like button for us right now as well. Panel time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this. We've got a very special guest back on the show today as well. Long time no see. Alfie's with us as well. Let's do this, people. Gentlemen, how you doing?
We're here,
What's
man. We're
good,
here.
man?
We're
here.
about.
I'm here, Dan. I'm happy, to be honest. Good result. Good. It's always been good to beat Leeds. I'm there with it.
Yeah, very happy. I mean, it couldn't have been more topsy-turvy if we tried.
Yeah. But still, Shaw's terrible. That's how I want to start there. Let's get the negatives out. Shaw's terrible. But other than Shaw, great performance by Maguire. Responding to the rumours, great. You have to praise that, regardless of whether you hate him or like him. I still think he needs to go. He's terrible, but he responded well with a great goal and a great reaction.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I actually thought his defensive performance today was good. There was one little thing that stood out to me. There was a time where the ball was being played over the top. He was in the right position. And he did this like sideways header back to Lindelof. And I thought that took a lot of confidence considering like how bad you've been recently. And yeah, he was good today. And I think for me, what I like to do, irrespective of my thoughts of whether he should be in the team or captain, played well. So he's got to be praised. Like it's as simple as that. There's no doubt. Where's everyone at with today's performance, though? Was it good to see a fight back? Would you rather have not have seen that? Were you impressed with the way we fought through the rain and the weather and the mud? Like, where's everyone's heads at with this result?
I don't know about you, yeah, but for me, Terry, that threw it back to me. That threw it back to nostalgia days, like early 2000s, like a proper football match, man. Like, I don't care what anyone was saying, yeah. Like, I was watching that. I was saying that's more enjoyable than watching Pep. I don't care what era you're from, yeah. In the golden era, that's what football is about. You get stuck in. Some of them tackles that were flying around, you let them go. You let the emotion ride through the game. And you can see the atmosphere as well in terms of the Leeds fans as well. They were, I can't lie, they were incredible. They did everything they could for their little team. Do you know what I mean? To get over the line, it wasn't enough, obviously. But look, for me, that game there, in terms of one, it being a derby, massive derby, but two, the occasion. And where Man United are at the moment, I think that was the most perfect game they could have played because there was no way Leeds were going to let off. Even if you go 2-up, yes, you can talk about the cross/goal, and then you can talk about us losing our concentration for the second one. But we put ourselves under pressure, and we're thinking, you know what, here we go again. But to stick it out, and then this is where I give massive props to the manager. And I always say this, Terry, you know this. I always say there are about 15, 20 games a season where a manager shows what he's worth. He read that game perfectly and literally found a way to exploit Leeds. Even though we were all cussing the Pogba substitution, he got it right. And both of his substitutions did the job. And with the pitch being awful, the energy that Fred brought, that Alanga brought, it maintained that intensity all the way through to the 90 minutes and got us over the line. So I thought it was a great game. I enjoyed it. As a neutral football fan, I enjoyed the game. As a Man United fan, of course, I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what's really interesting about that, Sunshine, is the Scott McTominay's head clash with what's the gentleman's name he clashed with?
Couldn't even tell you.
Force. I swear it begins with a K or something.
Hey,
like
yeah,
that.
Well, I can't remember his name now.
Click.
It
wasn't Click.
Yeah, whoever it was with, like, what impressed me about it massively was the fact that it was an accident. But I saw loads of that moment. I saw lots of other different tackles and bits and pieces going on in the game. And I saw like the timeline and it was like, I can't believe this has been allowed to go. I can't believe this is happening. And I'm sort of like, but this is just proper football for me. Like we've become very soft as football fans, wanting everything to be a foul, everything's a booking, everything's a red card. Referee was smart today as well because of the weather. People were going to make late tackles. Sometimes they stopped, but the wind and the rain was taking them through. That's just football. I'm getting really bad feedback from somebody. I'm not too sure if someone's got a phone or something near a microphone or whatever, but I'm getting like... I'm not too sure. But yeah, like it was a crazy game in relation to that. It really, really was. A lot of the viewers want to speak about Sancho. So we have to speak about Sancho's performance today. Like, how good was he? How good was he?
The boy from Kenneton, the boy from Guinness Trust Estate.
Oh my God!
Kenneton, where it started.
You know what's crazy? For me, Sancho's been playing like this since the little winter break that we had. He's come back playing like something else. He's really like he's taking man on. He's creating chances and that. It's just unfortunate that Ronaldo and some of these men aren't really finishing the chances that he's creating. But he's been balling for at least a month now, I'd say.
People have been praying for Sancho to be a flop, and the guy's one of them. And I called him out. Like people have been praying since the start of the season, flop signing, and you're like, relax, give the kid a little bit of time. He didn't even need a lot of time. If you think about it, a lot of players, they take a full year to get used to being in the Prem. This kid came back and he's been playing a very different style of football. Let's keep it real. Like, he has not been playing Premier League football, and despite how good he's been in the Bundesliga, and he's a slow start in the Bundesliga. Like, let's be honest, the way Sancho
he was.
like, he always starts a bit slow every year. And now we're seeing a player that I'm so happy we spent the money. I've been a Sancho stan forever, and we need to build around the kid. Like, he did everything today. That pass to Fred, that was a no-look pass, people. He didn't look. It was a no-look pass on the overlap for a goal. That is the type of sauce we need in our team from our wingers. That's what we need.
The only difference we could look at was that, like, I mean, the only disappointment is that he didn't have the number 7 on the back of his shirt. That's the only disappointment for me. If Sancho had the number 7 on the back of his shirt, that would have been like the best performance in the world for me. He didn't put a foot wrong. He didn't, and he, as you say, that confidence is starting to come into his game now. And people are desperate to call him a flop. And the reason why I've been so kind of lenient in the majority of games that I've seen him play in and that he's been involved in is the simple fact that he came into this situation and it was bad straight away, with everything going wrong with Ollie, the problems in the dressing room, the change of manager, the direction the club's going in. It was a big money signing. First time playing in the Premier League proper. He's been at a Premier League club before, but he never played in the Prem. With all that turmoil that the club was going through, and then it's almost like rivals are on his neck, wanting him, desperate for him to be a flop. And my point would be this: we've had 3 or 4 performances in the last 2 to 3 weeks from him, where he's been scoring, creating, and of course setting up goals now. Where we haven't seen that from Pepe, and I know Arsenal fans are desperate for him to Sancho to be their Pepe. He's in that way.
But that's the thing. Pepe is just a 72 million cram twin that Arsenal been trying to copy our flex for a while. You know, he's a 72 million Saka cram twin. Then after she got that guy, the Partey. Partey's even like a bootleg Pogba. We got Stormzy and made a nice little dance, you know, intro song. You know, when Pogba sang, they get the nail. The nail hasn't been relevant since that IB for 2003 to do a song. And then after it's like, come on, man, let's be honest. Like, you get what I mean? Like, it's everything they do is like a bootleg version of us. That's why Girl ain't going to turn up.
Well, we had this comment here from Sean, who said, "Excuses, what a surprise, toxic." I mean, look, with all due respect to you, Sean, if you think, as a Man United fan, the level of excuses that I give this team are very minimal. You didn't see me tweeting about foul on Bruno. I said it 50-50 in the sense of some think it is, some think it isn't. But you didn't hear me crying about that. You never see me cry about refereeing decisions. You see me slam my own captain. I slam my owners. I slam my management. I slam my favourite players. I've called for Rashford to not be in the team. Bruno to be dropped when he was bad. Where do the excuses come from on the football terrace as if we don't call our own teams out here? Like, we call our own teams out to such a point where we're called fake fans. Come on, Sean, try harder, my friend. What you actually mean to say is, what I know you actually mean by that is, yeah, what you said about Sancho is true, to be honest, Terry, but I can't admit that, so I'm going to call you toxic. He was great today. Like, Alfie, how much more? Like, there must be a lot more to come from Sancho, though. Do you still feel like there's a level above these performances to come from him?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. This guy, yeah. Like, you know, it's clear. I think just touching on what Cam said, it's clear. Yeah, guy needs top level Haaland-ish finisher to just be moving in and around. You know, you deem just the nice in and around and playing in between the no look pass. You see that them kind of things is where he really showed his quality today. He has been getting better for us at least 3 weeks. He's had some man of the match performances, and yeah, I think it's look like. Yeah. Sorry,
I think it might be your thing that's giving us some jip, because you're like repeating, you're speaking, and it's
sorry. Is that better?
No. It's a little strange. Try now.
Yeah, that's me now.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah. Anyway, so all he needed was good game time. And and to be a good focal point either on the left or the right, and today was the left, which is good. Yeah, and you know, I don't want to talk about
his assist came from the right though. Keep that in mind. That's why he's so dope.
Well, like, he got one assist from both sides.
Both sides.
Yeah, he got the assist from both. Yeah, he got the assist from both sides. Honestly, you know, that was a proper game today. Today, that was a proper. Reminded me of 2002, 2003, 2000. You know, them proper games were just like, no, like, it's just a scrap. It's like a scrap, one-on-one scraps all over the pitch. Apart from that, bruv, really, apart from that 10-second period, I don't know what happened, bro. Yeah, I saw like a building fell down.
Was it,
Do
but
you
was
know
it
what I
10
mean?
seconds though,
It was
Alfie?
no, it was 10 play seconds.
Do you know what
10,
it is, right?
Yeah, it was
like
10
10
play
minutes.
seconds. You're like, what? Number one, all right, it was a bit of a fluky goal. Yeah, that cross goal, whatever it was. And then on the restart, it's just one of them things. You didn't give the foul. Fine, no problem. Yeah, that's a 50-50. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it doesn't. But that's all part and parcel about it being of the old school games. Yeah, that's what in the old school games. Yeah, you get a knock, get back up, bro. Yeah, get back up. I understand you was looking for it, and I'm not gonna knock him too hard, because if we got the foul, you wouldn't have said anything about Bruno. You'd have been like, why are you touching my man's legs? Why didn't you go for the ball? That's what you would have said, but you didn't say that. Do you know what I mean? So apart from that 10-second period, that was a proper game. And you know what I really like? Two things I think I need to give props to. Yeah, number one is Ranić will see something happening, like 10 minutes of them man having 70% possession, and be like, nah, something needs to change right now, and take off Pogba and put on Fred, and all of a sudden you see it start leveling out. And then number two, and this is the thing that for about 2.5 years Ollie got wrong. When you at the last 5-10 minutes of the game bring on the fifth guy at the back, Varane. Every time Ollie brought on a fifth guy at the back, we conceded. He just did it. Yeah, I swear down. We conceded.
That's true. It's because we sat back, though. That's the difference. When Rangnick did it, we still attacked. Like, we still scored a goal from that. The whole point of Varane and the fifth defender isn't to sit back and invite on pressure. It's just to make sure that you have a little bit more stout there. That's it. It's not. You're not meant to sit there and turn into a mid-table side or a lower end side and be like, all right, cool.
Because most teams would have like someone in the midfield, like someone that sits deep, right? To come in and also cover them. We ain't got that midfielder to sit deep and actually dictate the game and do the tactical challenges. We haven't got that within our squad. Do you get what I mean? People can say Matic, but no, sorry, Matic needs to be in a retirement home from now, bro. I don't even know what's wrong with that guy.
That game would have been no good for him, because I think now, thinking back, like, you're not in the feeling of being nervous. I think even Pogba, because that grass was so thick with water, everybody slowed down. Pogba's quick, but only once he's in his stride. He ain't quick over 5 yards. He ain't quick over 10 yards, because he just isn't. And I think someone like Matic would have been like trying to walk in concrete boots in treacle. He wouldn't have been able to play on that pitch today. He just wouldn't have been able to have done it. And that's why he brought on Fred and Elanga. He brought on speed in that area to be able to press and push people, and it was so good from him. And I panicked a bit when Varane came on, because I'm like, we've done this before, the message is negative, we've conceded. So many games I can remember, Everton, the 3-3 as an example, when we bring on Tuanzebe, he gives a foul away, and we concede. And so many of those games threw away opportunities for us, and I was very nervous. But we just got better as things went on. We really did. And like on the foul on Bruno, do you guys think it was a foul?
Not for me.
For me, it was. For me,
the way the game was being called, you couldn't.
I'll tell you why. Yeah,
you couldn't call it, in my opinion.
I'll tell you why, and you have to take this into consideration. Players, referees, fans, they all know how Bruno moves as well, with the greatest of respect.
Exactly.
So, if you're going down like a sack of potatoes after the miniest of clips, and get me wrong, we've all been clipped in our Achilles with a stud, and it's the smallest little graze. That happens, but. If the contact doesn't warrant you to go down like that in that type of game, you've got to read the room and read the game. I'm sorry, you have to play on. Yes, it's 50-50. And if you got given, I wouldn't complain, because I could see why. But overall, being honest, to me, that's not a foul. You have to carry on. I wouldn't be happy to go, we got a result because of that foul. I'd feel like I'd actually feel quite weak, and I feel like a little boy in that sense. It wasn't a foul for me.
Yeah.
And on that, I think it was an interesting timeline of the game. I think if McTominay had been carded earlier, or some of the fouls that he was putting in were given, then I would have been screaming and shouting for a foul. But because the whole first half they were sliding, the ball was all over the place, there was bodies everywhere. To go down that cheaply, and then for it to be called back, if I was a Leeds fan, I would have been pissed at that. So for that reason alone, I was actually shouting at Fernandes to get up and get back in the game when he went down like that.
Yeah, I was going to say on top of that, like the most important thing Scott did today was set the tone, in my opinion. Like with that setting of the tone was huge. And we couldn't want that foul, because what we did to Dan James was the same thing. Every time Dan James was on the ball, we know that, man. We understood him. They put him down. Every chance they got, they put him on the floor. And I was loving it. I'm like, cool. The ref's not calling anything. Like Pogba got pulled down in the box. And I was like, don't call that either. Because at the end of the day, if you start calling the foul on Bruno, then everything needs to be called later on, and it ruins the whole game. Bruno needs to not do that anymore. For me, I struggle.
He's gonna
struggle.
he's gonna end up in the same books
I
as the
struggle with
Zahas
that.
and the
Yeah.
Zahas, the
I
Grealishes. He's
can't
gonna end up in
handle
that
it.
same. He's gonna end up in that same book. One point I wanted to pick up on, because also we spoke about this last time. Wan-Bissaka came in today, right? And I see all of these people talking about Dalot. Did we see any more? Did we see any differences?
They both
Like,
Not
let's be
gonna
honest.
lie, he looked better today.
Bro, like there's not much difference.
Yeah,
It's,
but
like,
Z,
it's about the
Z-
same, but
you know what it is, yeah.
Toss-up,
You have positives from Dalot that cancel out Bissaka's, and then you have some positives from Bissaka that cancels out Dalot. So it's like it comes down to preference. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the defensive minded, or do you prefer the guy who's good better on the ball?
But
And that's
even
where we are. But they're both crap.
But that's what I'm saying. Dalot's not defensively better than Wan-Bissaka. We know
he's
that for
not.
a fact. Then going forward, they're pretty much the same. They're both hesitant. They're just stalling. Like
it's the middle bit. It's the middle bit. The link up play and the ability to.
What
be able
link
to
up play
literally-
does Dalot have?
Nah, come on. And in
He does.
comparison to Bissaka.
In
Yeah,
comparison
you know
to
what it is? It's
Bissaka.
because Wan-Bissaka plays like he's got oversized basketball shorts on. That's why people think he's pretty. Do you understand?
Well, there you go.
That's the only
there you
thing.
go. There you go.
That's
So
fair.
it's literally the preference. If you go, is one better than the other? Cool. Either way, the club and the team is still left in a disarray, in my opinion.
But
And we need to do right back.
Neji, the thing is, the way we play now, though, the way we're starting to play, it's more suited to Dalot. That's the problem now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has almost become so obsolete because
but
it's just he's so bad on the ball that we look at it. We can't do anything on the right side unless we overlap with a midfielder. Our fullbacks are terrible.
But I just think
the
we
way
need
play
another fullback.
I agree. That's like one of the
Yeah,
most important
100%.
positions. I completely agree with you, man.
I'm not gonna lie, the whole defensive line needs to be restructured. I said it as soon as the starting lineup came out. I was like, so we don't like clean sheets over here, or what's the game? And for sure, I knew that there was a goal coming because that back line, that whole defensive structure does not know how to keep clean sheets. So I don't think it's Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Telles. I don't care.
No,
which one
I
you
think
pick, but they all need to
Shaw's a
come.
problem. I think Shaw needs to go.
Sure certainly is. Did you know what I find interesting with AWB? I was listening to a Leeds podcast the other day, and they were kind of referring to things that Dan James has been saying. Dan James has opened up and admitted that the longer he was at United, the more cautious he became as a player, the more nervous he became. It almost restricted him. And Bielsa's been working on opening him up and making him play with the same level of freedom that because in his opening 2 or 3 months for United, he looked like a dangerous player on the break, and he just lost that, And I look at AWB in that same regard. If you think back to the first 3 months AWB was in the United team, nearly all of us loved him. Irrespective of him going forward, the way he defended and barely anybody could get past him. I went through a period of a year, 18 months, where I didn't care who was on that left wing against him. I didn't feel nervous. I didn't feel worried. I didn't feel concerned. That slowly started to disappear. I think what's really intriguing for me is the worse Man United became under Ollie and the more toxic the club became, the more the majority of our young players regressed. So I'm not suggesting AWB is ever going to be Reece James. He won't be. I don't think he's ever going to be Trent. I know he won't be. But I still think there's a much better player in there than we saw for the opening 2 or 3 months of this season. And I think that the low Wan-Bissaka thing is a little bit, again, of one of those micro penis competitions. It's almost like they're either both not good at it. They're both not at the level we want. Stop arguing over like those two. It's a bit like, who's better, Fred or McTominay? Don't care. Like Fred was great today, came on, scored the winner. But I don't want to debate who's better out of the two. It's almost a pointless. It's like arguing over who's a better manager, Big Sam or I don't know, or Alan Pardew. Yeah, it's like, what's the point? What a debate! I don't want to waste my oxygen on that. Do you know what I'm saying? And but I was happy with AWB today. He looked a bit more relaxed. It was a game for him as well. The amount of slide tackles he had to make, he's great at them. It's his best attribute. He probably should have been born 20 years ago, and he'd be looked at as a world-class right back, to be fair. But I was really happy with him today and the way he kind of played and performed. And I wanted to pick up this guy as well. We are going to go to your super chat soon and go to your questions. He's got a goal. He got an assist here with his Bergkamp-esque skill over the defender's head.
So saucy.
I have seen a lot of Arsenal fans, maybe because I've said that it was just bad defending and it was a bad touch from Bruno. Surely that touch and that skill deserves like a lot of mentions.
Absolutely.
100%,
Absolutely.
Man.
That was
sick.
I swear he tried to do it twice during the game though.
He tries to listen. He
Yeah,
tries
he
to
did,
do it
he
all the
did, he
time.
did.
That's not the first time Bruno's tried to do it.
But
He's
like
been trying to do that since he landed.
Yeah,
But
honestly,
he just pulled it off.
He pulled it off. He pulled it off.
But see, that's the thing with Bruno. That's what you got to take. You got to take the good with the bad. Like he always is trying things, and that's why. This is the reason why I don't come on Bruno, because it's like before we had a Bruno, we had a team. Wow. Before we had Bruno, we had a team full of dudes other than Pogba who were afraid to try anything. Like nobody was doing anything special. Like
full of dudes trying to come on Bruno.
Oh my god! Listen, no, but hold on. So Bruno comes in, and now he starts. He always goes for the killer pass. He's trying things, and yes, a lot of the times I want to yell at him. I want to wring his neck. But today was one of those games where I was like, "Go on, mate, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing." Because when people, I saw people saying he did nothing. Oh, he got a goal, but he did nothing, and I'm sitting there being like, all right, cool. So a goal is nothing now.
It's over the top, man.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? You know what it is with this is the funny thing when it comes to Bruno, right? People talk about tech and everything. Can someone here, like, unless you lot disagree, Muller, is he one of the most technical gifted player?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Not.
Muller's not. But how come it's an excuse for Muller? Oh, he's not. People praise Muller, but refuse to praise Bruno.
I'll tell you what
They're quite similar. Like where Bruno Miller might be better at passing and better in certain, elements of his game, but they're very much similar. They both lack that technical ability. So where do you go from there?
I'll tell you what it is, 100%. You look at Bruno Fernandes, and I always said, I never understood the over analytical fans. Like, I look at Bruno and go, okay, are there deficiencies within his game? I'm sure we can all say yes, there are. I'm pretty sure if we had a board up right now and said 3, 2, 1, go, he'd probably say the same thing. Yeah, he's wasteful in possession, or he doesn't have the great ball retention, or he tries too many hero balls. Cool, that's fine. How do you find a solution for that? In my opinion, add patience to his game and give him instructions and clear instructions so that when he's in certain areas of the pitch, he has to do certain, he makes the 5-yard pass. Have we seen that in the past couple of games? Yes, we have. Is he still going to be that player that will sniff out maybe one opportunity that no one ever sees and make the attempted pass? Yes, he did. Kevin De Bruyne had like 35 lost balls the other day. I think it was against Spurs or something stupid like that, right? Not a peep, not a word. Why? Because he's trying things. It's part of the game. If you try things, it's not a positive that's always going to come off. However,
but the difference is there's a mad difference, though, bro.
No. There's no difference. This is the issue I've got.
No, there is a difference because I'll be honest with you. Bruno does try. Regardless, I know what you're saying, bro, but Bruno does try force it at times where it shouldn't be forced.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
Calculated.
No. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying De Bruyne is in a Manchester City team that is pep riddled, like structure, play this way, and the man's still losing possession. At Manchester United, we are more open, we are more fluent. We rely on him to be at his best. I'll always say, is Bruno at his most effective? If your player is less effective but looks better and tidier on the ball, is that good for our club? Is the first question.
And I think a lot of this comes down to eye test, and I'll tell you as to why. Losing the ball is KDB on average loses the ball 20 times per game. And that will be, I watched him do it yesterday. I watched him cross the ball into the box 3 times yesterday and hit the first man. And now during the watch along, no one mentioned it. No one on Twitter's mentioning it because he looks good doing it. Lionel Messi loses the ball per game on average 18 times and has done his entire career. Trent Alexander-Arnold, do you know how many times a game in the Premier League? 3 years running, he on average loses the ball per game. 25 times per match, he loses the ball. Bruno's is on average around 19. The most highly creative football players in the world lose the ball on a regular basis because they're trying. Because of the risk.
It's the risk.
What's really interesting about this, and that's why when you get a number, you have to research it. Do you want to know something really interesting? Kai Havertz loses the ball on average 9 times per game. Would you rather Kai Havertz and his lack of impact on games the majority of the time, or Bruno who's losing it double the amount? I don't know who's making that noise. If you start with, would you rather Kai Havertz loses the ball half the amount that Bruno does, but barely scores and barely assists and barely sets up chances? The stat used against Bruno, I've said this on a few occasions before, and I'll say it again. It's a fugazi. The same as when the media tried to get Pogba on he spends 40 minutes a game walking. my straight rebuttal was, can you show me everybody else's walking stats? Because it might just be normal that players spend that much time in a game walking. We don't know because we don't get to look at it. When Bruno's stat of how many times he lost the ball come out, we were all like, oh my God. Watch a game and just a game you don't really care about because you can do this, and watch a highly creative player. And every time a pass, a cross, a shot, or a bad touch lead to the team losing possession or not going to where they're intended to, mark it down. You'll be shocked at how often it happens. And then cross-reference that with how many times Bruno does it. And you'll suddenly go, oh, he's just doing it the same as all the other top guys.
Correct.
It's weird. I've always found it weird why Bruno gets criticized for losing the ball just as much as everybody else. And the irony in this is this, right? He creates as much as any of those other guys, scores more than any of those guys, barring Lionel Messi, of course. But yet he's been doing it in a team with bad management, bad coaching, and bad systems.
And bad results. And bad results. That's the reason why.
Based on that, what's KDB's excuse? What's Trent's excuse? What's Messi's?
But you know what it is? But this is what I'm saying.
No,
but this is where we have to be serious right now. I get what everyone's saying, but I think everyone's got a bit OTT. We watch Bruno, right? With Trent's always pinging in those crosses, right? So it's not always going to land. Do you get what I mean? So obviously he's going to that because that's the system within the team. With KDB, those balls are a little bit more calculated. Bruno does not calculate some of his balls sometimes, and the players already moved out the position.
You know what?
That makes zero sense.
Let me know.
Can I just say to that, Zeke? Can I just say to that? My dad, when I was growing up, taught me about waddle and hoddle. And he spoke about how he used to watch Glenn Hoddle as a kid. It was a young man, really, for Spurs. And he said that Hoddle would often cross balls or put balls into areas on the pitch where nobody was there. And my dad said, he said, what are you doing that for? Bad ball, bad ball. My dad was very fortunate when he got older. We did a lot of after dinner speaking to meet Glenn Hoddle. My dad sort of said, when I was a kid, he used to frustrate me. And Glenn Hoddle would probably never have said it. People don't realize he might be an average pundit, but Glenn Hoddle was a serious baller. Serious. My dad was like, sort of had a word with him, a bit like, I used to frustrate me as a younger man and he went, well, it's only because I knew that's where the player should have run to. I'm putting the balls into areas where a player should be going. I'm not. He said that when you're actually out there, you're not always able to check that hang on, I'm just making sure you've made the run. Yeah, he is right. Now I'm going to cross it. You have to work on instinct. It doesn't always come off for Bruno, but sometimes it's I'm going to knock the ball into that channel because the fullback should be running there.
That happened today.
That's
that
why,
happened today.
That's why
it happens.
The overall players around him are a little bit better.
But you know what is the thing is with KDB, right? Like I said, it's a bit more calculated, and that comes down to also the coaching. That's what I was going to say. Because let's be real, he's now working with Ralph, right? And his passes haven't been as bad as we've seen in the previous years. You see them dropping a bit deeper. You see him sometimes looking up when he's getting the ball rather than trying to ping the one-off balls and try to run into space. And it comes down to the coaching. You see at City, they've got an elite coach. They know what they're doing with it. They know exactly what they're doing. They know each other. They know where he's going to play, where he's going to play. Thierry Henry said it one time in an interview, right, with Wenger. And he said something like, Wenger said, it's not about your game. Sometimes you've got to think about the other player's game and how the other player's going to play the ball. And that's always important. And that's the coaching element. And that's what's happening with Bruno. I think by next year, there'll be no debate. Like people are saying Bruno's having a crap season. What is it? 23, 22 GA with no penalties in like 32 games. And then after that's the only thing that's missing is success. We saw
what it is for me is I think the Bruno hate is a little bit forced. I'm not gonna lie to you. But since he's been at United, as far as like the creative outlets that's gonna make something happen in a game that could change the game. If Pogba's not playing, it's Bruno. Other than that, we ain't really got no one that could pick that pass.
But you just mentioned the person's name. I think again a lot of United fans, and I did put somebody in the comments like Terry, prove you're not making these stats up. I'm not. You can see I've added chance created in there per game as well. 3.2 chances per game created by Bruno, exactly the same amount as KDB, slightly more than Messi. Trent Alexander-Arnold on 3. But then look at the reason I put Kai Havertz in is because I knew Kai Havertz is someone that doesn't lose the ball. Kai Havertz does all the things that Man United fans scream for Bruno Fernandes to do. Good ball retention. Oh, sorry, wrong screen. Looking technical, etc. But he doesn't score and he doesn't create. So it's like everybody I go out there and find who's an elite creator, statistically, they lose the ball like Bruno does. It's an absolute fallacy. But you mentioned the right person there, Dizzy. Pogba. The problem that happened is when Bruno first came in, Pogba was out. Remember, when he first started, first 3 months. And some United fans that don't like Pogba use Bruno as a stick to beat Pogba with. So all the Pogba fanboys went, well, I don't like Bruno. These are grown men and women behaving like 5-year-olds. And it was like, I don't like Bruno because some people like him more than they like my Pogba. And do you know what I find really weird about it? The way Pogba FC and Bruno FC talk about the other. Did Pogba FC realize that Paul Pogba would think you're a prick? If you if you went up to Pogba and said, "Oh, listen, Bruno's da-da-da-da-da," Pogba would give you that, that look he gave Jose when Jose sent him off the training ground.
Yeah.
So get out of here. If you went up to Bruno and said, "Oh, Pogba's this overrated, inconsistent," Bruno would tell you to do one. Like,
for sure, because they got this funny little bromance thing going on as well.
Yeah, they have as well. Man.
It's crazy. People forget. Like, I watched the Rooney documentary and he took it back, right? When he said he wanted to leave. The best players want to play with the best players, right? No matter what. He spoke about going back to when he spoke about Tevez and Ronaldo going and who they brought in, right? And this is what, do you think Bruno wants to see Pogba go? Do you think Pogba will want to see Bruno go? He's probably stayed longer because Bruno's come in. Do you get what I mean? Like, people, they respect each other. I think we got to go back to the first game that we played against Leeds when they were bigging up each other. Shirt number, turn around, Bruno. That's my guy. Oh, he's the guy. But our fans are so on this going against each other. Like Terry said it last week. Martial, he done that skill, and then now just everyone clicked it. But he lost the ball afterwards. Today he got bloody injured, and then people are like, it's just a little knock. This guy's useless. This is why these players aren't at the club, and this is why Bruno's still here.
Did you read? So Ralph recently came out, and so Terry knows how I feel about the British media and such. I really only listen to things that come out of the players' mouths, like the coaches' mouths. I try my best to not pay attention to the media. Ralph, his words. The atmosphere in the locker room is a lot better now that a few unhappy players are no longer there. He said that. That really? Yes. Yeah. I'll send you the.
Yeah.
That is a real quote from his mouth, and that's a direct shot. That's a direct shot at VDB and Martial. They're the two players who are unhappy who left. He didn't say their names because he's professional.
I don't think it's at VDB, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, it might be. It might be.
I think VDB is too quiet, bro.
Context. He's not saying.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad people.
I'm not saying they're bad people.
I think it was because they were just unhappy they weren't being used. Sometimes there was a case 2 summers ago where the club didn't allow Christian Romero to leave, and loads of players in the Man United were angry because they were like, "But he's our friend and he ain't playing. We're annoyed on his behalf because he just wants to go and play football." I think that it's partly to do with that. And listen, the thing with fans is this though: there are some fans that I saw celebrate Martial's goal and assist the other night more than they celebrated Ronaldo scoring the goal against Brighton. Exactly. That for me is football in context is sacrilegious. You're a Philistine. You're not a United fan if you're doing that. I'm happy Martial does. Martial goes and kills it and comes back and kills it. I'm happy. But I'm not celebrating a Sevilla goal more than a Man United goal. That's weird to me. And look, Donny had a really good game. Not yesterday, the game before. Was diabolical yesterday. According to Evertonians, awful. Suddenly everyone's quiet about him. Oh, you shouldn't be in the midfield. Like, I'm not saying I don't want Donny to fail, but I'm just waiting to see the wood through the trees. I'm not going to let one good performance or a good run of form of three or four games cloud my judgment. There's a reason that the two of them weren't playing, and it isn't because Ralph Rangnick and them have fallen out. It isn't bullying. Rangnick didn't have favourites. There was clearly something, whether it was. Maybe they were already damaged so much by the Ollie situation. They just weren't in the right frame of mind. I don't know what it was.
A prime example of that is Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay, Man United fans were twerking for Memphis Depay to come back when he went to Lyon and done the performances. Unless he was in the squad today. Xavi's come in and Xavi said, "Hold on, what's this Drake guy doing here?" Like literally, he said, "Drake, you're meant to be doing rap music." That's what he does. And he said, "No, you're going to sit on the sideline." And you replaced him with a Fufu Dan James, Adama Traore. So,
I think he's injured. But even besides the point, when he wasn't injured at Barca, he ain't really been saying a lot. And to Terry's point about the players, Rangnick came out, I think it was the last press conference or the one before, he was like, basically, the players pick themselves. You show up to training and you show what you need to show in training. And how can I not pick you? You look at Elanga. Elanga, where was he before Ragnick came in? Lingard was all but gone, and now he's starting today. You show yourself in the training pitch, and then you show yourself on the
how does that relate to Maguire though? Because with the greatest respect, I know he had a great game today.
He's a
no. I'm not being that guy, but
could I speak on Maguire?
He had a better game. He had a better game today than previous. The header, great. I've never criticized his heading ability in that respect. Defensively, I watched him. I think he was much more assured and better today in a difficult game. However, we all know that guy should not be starting.
So this is where
what's he doing in training?
So this is where Tel's spot on when it comes to the Glazers. The Maguire thing is the Glazers' problem. I mean this. So I've been trying to analyze it and figure it out. Why would a manager as good or a guy who knows football as much as Ragnick keep playing this man? There's a certain thing to be said about you have to work with what you have. You don't have a choice in some situations. Coming in and destroying Maguire any more than he's already as bad as you could be. So he's sitting there being like, I have to build this dude back up. One, if I'm even going to have a chance to sell him. Two, if I'm going to have a chance to play him and have him play, because Varane, we know, gets injured or whatnot, you have to rely on Maguire at this moment in time. So he can't go in and just destroy his confidence worse than it is. He's trying to get him back. I'm not saying we should play him, but what else choice does he have? No.
This is the issue. No. You're missing certain points to this, bro. Like, what you're saying is bang on. I'm not disrespecting that. But the context that you're missing is that there are times when Maguire could have been dropped for other players. We all know Phil Jones had a better game than him. Yes. Should he have played the next game based on merit? If we're going off merit and you're doing your job, should he have played? Yes, but Maguire comes in. You've probably all got flashbacks of the Sheffield game, but with the greatest of respect to Phil Jones, I think if he didn't become a meme and actually you focus on his football performance, he actually plays the game better than Maguire.
That goes exactly to what I'm trying to say. If you drop Maguire for Phil Jones after one game of good games,
it's not so much that,
but that happens.
You can't do that.
Happens in football.
You can't just have a player, right? Just because he's your captain, he costs whatever he costs, and the board have messed up. If you're not consistent with how you choose your plays throughout the team, other players in that team are literally going to start going, why has he got preferential treatment? When every player knows that he's not good enough.
I agree with that. I think that's something that's happened at Man United too much. Like, so I was really happy today to not see Rashford come on at all because performances haven't warranted it. And this is where when people go, Terry, you're so biased. Like, Rashford's my favourite Man United player. When he's on fire, when all our players are at their best, he's the guy I enjoy watching the most. Why? Because I've always said it. I like really direct players that run at people, and he does that. I prefer that to intricate. That's just that's what I like. It doesn't really matter. But I don't want him in the team right now because he isn't good enough. And it sends the wrong message to Elanga. It sends the wrong message to Lingard. I was thinking about Lingard the last 3 or 4 games, thinking, why hasn't he even started a game yet? Because I don't know. I don't necessarily think Elanga is ever going to be good enough, to be honest with you. I don't think he is as a first-team player for Man United to get us to that next level. But I'm looking at it thinking, and Jesse did really well today, considering it's his first start in the Prem for 2 years. It was like we need to, especially with Greenwood's situation, Lingard needs to be used more. So the Maguire one was interesting. And look, do I hope Maguire now plays at this level and above for every game remaining? Yes, of course I do, because it's good for Man United. But we'll see what happens with that. There is another player, though. And maybe I'm reading too much into this. I felt like we went back to having 11 men on the pitch from the 85th minute when Ronaldo went off. I love Cristiano Ronaldo. I know he missed another sitter today. It was another sitter. It was like at least the 3rd or 4th close range sitter he's missed, coupled with 3 or 4 point blank. The guy should, in my opinion, have 6 or 7 goals in this since the international break. Each have had at least 6 or 7 goals more to his tally. Missing the chances isn't even what I'm frustrated with him about. It's the lack of everything else. And there were times today where their goalie looked dodgy, the ball wasn't running. And because he's so old as a footballer, he can't press even if he wants to. You see with the way he moves. You saw when Rafinha came on. You saw the way he was able to like move and twist and turn. I'm like, I remember when Ronaldo's body did that. And he can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I love Ronaldo. And I hate speaking badly of him. And look, I got very excited when he came in. And I don't know. I just felt with the way we played last year that I would create these chances. He'll be there to tap him in. We've now become a pressing team. We're trying to become a pressing team, and he can't do it. And we just feel like I almost feel like we're down to 10 men the whole game when I watch him. And I don't like to be rude, but it's like when our better performances under Ralph, I've all felt have come when Cavani started. When Cavani's been in his role, we look slightly better. Or I'm looking now at a solution. Cavani's always injured. We're not going to do this, but I feel like we should be playing Bruno as a false 9.
Listen, I have no issue with that. I've been saying that eventually, I think Bruno should end up as a number 9, but just to stick to Christina, Felicia, Ronaldo. Boy,
a lot of disrespect, man. He's got too much credit in the bank, bro.
Allow it.
Allow it.
Give a toss about credit. No. It's not about. No, let's stop. Because at the end of the day, this is the same player that said he was a slave at this club, right? So I'm not going to forget that, right? Listen, so let's be honest. The guy's body language when he's not even score, when someone else scores, like, and these are people. This is the person that people are saying they want to be a captain. He's missing sitters. When the team are scoring, he ain't celebrating. He ain't getting in the mix of anything. He don't look like he's uplifting anyone. And this is the same person that people saying they want to be captain. No, let's watch
that bit's a lie. You can't.
No, but
you can't
he
do
don't talk about his
body
language.
Bro.
It's not even
like
false.
if you're making your Z, you know I got respect for you, bro. But I say this to anyone: if you're making a statement that blunt that he's not doing this, and then I go and find one clip where he's actually bigging up the man's in the fans, no stress. I got you, bro. I got you. No worries.
Find the clip right now.
So
I'm talking about today.
Yes, okay, you can talk about today, but I'm talking. You made a statement, so I'm saying you made a statement saying he does not do this. So I'm saying,
when others
you can't be that anal, because if you're saying he doesn't do something, you know of him doing it.
Yeah, you know. Here's the thing that I think you need to understand about Ronaldo. You know, for the last 10 odd games, I've been watching Ronaldo, and I promise you, I've been saying the same thing. Ronnie is the problem. Right, Ronnie is the problem because you're like, bro, why ain't you running? Why ain't you pressing? Why do you know? I've never seen a Man United player get robbed as many times as Ronaldo has been robbed off the ball in prime situations, last third of the pitch. And I see on YouTube or Facebook, I see a little no. This season, I promise you, this season, and you're like, bro, you know, here's the thing. Any regular player getting robbed off the ball, all right, yeah, whatever, no problem. But we need to like Ronnie, bro, you're the guy that used to twine people, leave them on the floor, left for dead.
Yeah, but this is the issue, brother.
But
Alfie, that's what we're talking about.
Alfie, I'm gonna say this, right? Don't you remind you of Brand History, though?
Let me hold this, yeah? In our minds, we have this idea because we have this nostalgia, we experienced that Ronaldo. So we are clouded, well, a lot of our fans are clouded by that judgment. We're judging him based on that. I'm looking at what he is now.
I'm looking at what he is now too. So where's his strength? Where's his strength, bro?
But I'm gonna get there for you, bro. When you're talking to me about we're looking at the guy who used to twine and dine, already your mindset's filled with, he used to do this. So you're making that comparison. He's not that guy no more. So why are we having that conversation?
No. I'll tell you why though. I'll tell you why. You know, in the beginning when we signed him, I knew we're not gonna get the same Ronaldo that's gonna twine people because I've been watching him at Juve. He ain't been twining people for the last 3 years, bro.
But we expect him to finish those.
No. But I expect you to not get robbed. There's a difference. Why you keep getting robbed?
You can say, listen. I'm not saying his hold up play is amazing. I'm not saying that, but I don't think that is directly a Ronaldo issue. If you know that he's not got that in his locker no more, if you know he's not that player, I'm starting to look at why. And again, Terry will combat this. Why are we bringing this play in the first place? Because you can say we can talk about Ronaldo scoring goals and we know we can get the best. We know how to get the best out of Ronaldo. We can all say that.
But you know
overall, do we though? Do we know?
No. I'm not saying we do.
No. Let me ask you a question,
please don't cut because you're missing the context. I'm giving the context to this. If you know how to get the best out of Ronaldo in any team, cool, fine. But Manchester United does not facilitate his game 100% of the time for the whole 90 minutes. So there are moments where Ronaldo has to switch his game up, his normal game, what he was doing at Juve, to then play this way. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I feel like you have to adapt to the teams you're in. But he is 37 years old. As Terry says, his body's all rusty like that. He can't move that way. So even though because when I see him, I've seen him tracking back 93rd, 4th minute. His intentions to do the right things, I've got no issue with. But expecting it from him, I'm not going to hold it against him. I can't do that.
Is it safe to say that you accept that he is a part of our weakness? As much as he's got strength,
Yeah.
banging it in
In
from
my
wherever
opinion,
and heading.
yeah.
So he does have a, and that's
But
what
I don't
saying,
think
innit?
he's the
That's what
problem.
we're
This is
saying.
the issue. This is the issue, brother. I don't think he is the problem because you have to look at why is he being brought into this team first and foremost.
You're right. Do you know what? You're right. He isn't the. He's a problem, but he ain't the problem.
Yeah,
We spoke
he's
about
a
it.
weakness, but he's not the problem.
One of the reasons that Maguire's under so much pressure is one, we spent £80 million on him when he wasn't worth that amount of money. Two, it's hard to sell him on, so there's almost a necessity to play him. He's also the captain that he should never have been, so there's almost a necessity to play him. Ronaldo came in and fans are allowed to get... Listen, everyone can find a Man United fan who said, no, I always said it would be bad. Yeah, listen, but I also saw you once upon a time say that Lingard was going to be this, or that Rashford was going to be that, or Fred was better than this guy. Like, we've all made faux pas and got predictions wrong. That's just damn. But the owners and the people running the club shouldn't be as incorrect as fans. And the reason I say that is because they've got the due diligence. They're on the inside. They know what's going on, right? They know how we're meant to be playing. And do you know the reason why Ronaldo's struggling even more now? Because we're going for it. We're about to start another rebuild and go into another style of play, which is completely wrong for him at 37 years of age. It's why Maguire's struggling even more now, because we're playing a higher line and his lack of speed is being exposed. Exactly. It's making him nervous. I'm not giving these guys excuses. People are giving excuses. And they're the reasons they're struggling. You know, and that's where Man United need a game plan that they stick to for 10 years. And everyone they buy matches that. Like, Bielsa won't buy a certain type of player unless they can run for 90 minutes hard, because that's what he needs. He ain't going to... Leeds United... It's why Ralf Rangnick said RB Leipzig 6 years ago wouldn't buy Ronaldo. Because the kind of player he was at 30, he was like, yeah, we don't buy a player that's not part of this club's philosophy. Not Ronaldo's a rubbish player, but you're meant to buy players that suit your club, suit your style, suit what you're trying to achieve. Man United buy we're just at a jumble sale, not buying crap, but things we don't need. You know, you ever got someone in your family or a friend who just buys stuff they don't need?
We're hoarders. We're hoarders.
My girlfriend, she's in the other room.
No, but you know what is, Terry? Just to pick up on that, because
everyone moving shook, man, because their wife is in the other room.
Sonny, just to pick up on it, because I know we've been in this space and I know how much you love Ronnie. But do you know when it comes to Ronnie, right? Like, for example, I was speaking to someone before this game, and I said, who's going to actually show up today and show that they are... Who's going to react to the comments that were made in the midweek, the leak information? And the person who responded today was Harry Maguire. No one's going to talk about that. If Ronaldo scored today, people would be like, oh, you know what? There's proof. And if Harry Maguire had a stinker, yeah, he should be our captain. He should be this. Obviously, I'm not saying that Ronaldo probably hasn't saluted the fans or celebrated, but if you watch his body language, it's similar to when the last 2 seasons of Ruud van Nistelrooy. You remember when Ronaldo first came, you start seeing a little bit of envious in Van Nistelrooy's face and his actions. And then after this, Rooney. Remember, I'll take it back to the Fenerbahce game. Van Nistelrooy was moving a bit salty in that game over Rooney. Do you get
I don't think we can hold on. One thing about Ronaldo's body language, and I think this is what bothered. I had the same issue when people were getting on Rashford when he wasn't doing well. When somebody is a serial winner, when somebody's whole life is about winning and they're passionate, and everybody around Ronaldo, every coach, anybody has said all he cares about is winning in his craft. So Ronaldo, when he's not happy that he hasn't scored a goal, you cannot be upset.
Yeah, I understand
like
that,
when
man.
like today when he walked up. No, I'm just saying Rashford had the same sense when he was doing poorly. People were ripping him to shreds because of his body language.
Yeah,
Some
what's
people
Ronaldo achieved? What's Rashford achieved?
I'm not saying achieve. I'm just saying their body. Like when people are winners and they want to win, and your body, like you can't. Not everybody is just going to be like, yeah. Ronaldo knows he's not playing well. He's fully aware of it. So that's killing him.
And more so, sorry, my bad. And more so to that point, anybody that's watched Ronaldo, you could win a game 3-0. If he doesn't score, he's still pissed.
100.
Have you seen his body language when he misses a shot? He's pissed.
Can I just add to that?
Of a misplaced pass, of a team playing badly, or a team that's looking like what it's looking like, which is we ain't gonna win nothing this season. He's not going to be happy, but I don't know, man.
One thing you have to give credit for. One thing you have to give credit for, now I'll land this quickly, yeah? When you are the hardest working player there, you feel you deserve everything there more than anyone else. And I've always been in the same boat. Like when I was doing my athletics and my sport, if I'm working my ass off, running, doing 3-4 hour sessions, not getting home till 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, and I'm sitting there and I got some guy who's probably beat me in a competition. Of course I'll shake his hand, but I'm already fuming because I know I've worked harder than that man. It breeds a mentality where it's like, I deserve this. And if someone outworks me, no matter what it is, then fair enough, I cannot complain. But when you know at that club, you are setting the standards everywhere. And that's even with a rusty body, and that's even with him not being that twiny, diny dribbler of what he used to be. You should expect greatness.
I think as well. Do you know what I think it comes down to? I don't think he's at people like him and Bruno. Bruno laying on the floor when he's not hurt annoys me. I don't like any player doing that. Bruno being angry when things don't go his way. Ronaldo being angry. I don't mind that. I like that attitude. That's kind of mainly that's how I am. I'm very. People have seen me in the studio where text failed and then the cameras have gone off. I'll lose my head. And I shouldn't, but I do because I've got high standards, right? I don't mind seeing that. I think the issue that the players might have with Ronaldo is your standards are higher and everything else, but you're not performing overall. And it's almost like, but we respect your Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't want to tell you, but at the end of the day, like if Ronaldo was a boxer, he'd look like Amir Khan last night. Amir, like when a footballer, when a boxer, a top class boxer, David Hay in his pomp, would not have got beat by Tony Bellew. He wouldn't have been. Tony, like in his pomp, but he isn't there anymore. When you're a footballer, you can kind of get away with it because you've got 11 people around you, some legs here, some running there. Ronaldo's still a good finisher. I mean, he's missed some sitters, but he's still a good finisher. But every other facet of his game that he used to have is past him because he's 37 years old. And I think the players are probably just frustrated that, look, it's hard because we'll press in this certain shape and then we look over and Ronaldo ain't. Because he can't, and it's like it takes away from everybody. But I've got some super chats to do here. We missed them earlier. Josh here says Bruno over KDB. He ghosted Spurs. Glory, Man United. I'm not opposed to netting behind. Sorry, I'm not opposed to netting behind the goals and at the corner flags were players celebrating. Too many objects were thrown on the pitch lately.
Oh yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah, Langer got hit. Literally, I've realized a football fan, like things are regressing with football. It's in terms of behaviors, no doubt. I want the apologies to be as loud as a disrespect. Scamcho, hold that, rivals, is what Adam says. Sancho would have had 3 assists if Elanga scored his first opportunity, which is true. Okay. The English Neymar has arrived, according to Machiavelli.
That's a disrespect to Neymar, to Sancho, I'll be honest.
I love that. Terry, the first goal we conceded was all Lingard's fault. He lost the ball and didn't track back. Look, I'm not.
That first goal was Hurricane Eunice's fault. That ball was going one way. I'm sorry. That Eunice is a fan of Leeds because that ball was literally De Gea is watching for the cross, and all of a sudden that dips, and he's like, "Oh shit!" So let's
that just was pure fluke. The best players get the most pressure put on them when they lose the ball being creative. Overhyped players just look good. Losing it is what Red Wolf thinks. This is interesting. When chances created means he's putting the ball somewhere that someone might score. Yeah, someone else in the comment section earlier said creating chances means nothing. I sometimes feel like creating chances actually means more than assists because if you imagine the guys that have created like Pogba today. Created an amazing chance for Ronaldo, but he has no assist. The chance he created was more important than the assist, I think. Terry has officially dumped Rashford. These bros aren't loyal. Bro, I haven't dumped Rashford. I still rate him as a player.
And said these bros ain't loyal.
My loyalty is with Manchester United Football Club, not any player. That guy is lying. He dribbled every defender in Juve. He bullied that league. Don't speak if you don't watch him.
I watched lots of Juve. That's not true.
He never dribbled everyone.
That's not true. He became a fox in the box. He's a dub. He played it with 2 strikers. He played off the second striker. Not true.
You know what he did, Cam? Yeah, there was literally a couple of moments where he was in and around the box, running onto the ball. He's done a step over, chop, and licked, and he's counting that as like he's dribbling past everyone.
I watched a lot of Juve. That's not true.
This guy here says the Prem is too much for him and he's playing as a 9, not a left winger like in Italy. You don't chat about Ronaldo in Italy. He did everything. I can't hear that. Just really interesting as well. I did see this from Curran, who's an Arsenal fan. And he said, I'll put it up on the screen. He said, if Aubameyang missed that, the backlash would be relentless. What a miss from Ronaldo. The one thing where I will defend Ronaldo is the credit Ronaldo has in the bank as a finisher compared to Aubameyang, like
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People
Wait,
always
Arsenal
talk
fans
about
are lost, you know.
Mate,
Arsenal
it's
I just
fans
want
are
to say,
ridiculous.
you know that last comment, Ezio or whatever. He's saying, "Oh, don't Ronaldo did everything." I'm like, bro, you must have only seen Ronaldo at Juve and never seen him at Madrid and never seen him at United to be talking like that, bro. Really,
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, that's all right. If Serie A is your thing, then keep watching it, bro. But don't tell us about the Ronaldo of old and Ronaldo now.
This comment here says, if it wasn't for Ronaldo, we wouldn't be in the Champions League knockouts and would be further behind the top 4 race. Not his game today. Do you know what? I think he'll still score goals for us potentially in the Champions League. Champions League is played at a slower pace than in England.
I think Ronaldo's getting too much to be the problem. He's coming too important for us to be the problem. He's been a problem for sure, but not the problem.
You know what's not spoken about enough, Terry, yeah? And obviously, panel, like, I can appreciate Cavani being injured, but the times when he's having extended breaks, that to me, to me, that has put more pressure on Ronaldo when we, considering number 11's situation. We now can't get rid of Ronaldo or rest him when we need to. So he's now going to have to hold the forefront for us for so many games. I mean, we already know we can't do that in the system. And we've got Man City, we've got I think Chelsea, I think we've got Liverpool and Atletico Madrid twice, all in March.
March
like,
is deadly.
Cavani is a fan favorite. My man doesn't even want to be here, I'll be honest. The guy wants to go and stay on holiday. That's cool, man. Do your thing.
But that's
like
the thing.
everyone's screaming for it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I feel like with Cavani again is one of them people. You know, like I'm not getting on him. He's had a great season. David De Gea.
Yes.
David De Gea has asked to leave Man United more times than Wayne Rooney ever did, but he's never had any real stick for it, right? It's sort of because he didn't do it the way Rooney did it. He didn't kind of come out publicly and challenge the club's ambition. But behind the scenes, when you're asking to leave, you're still kind of to a degree doing that, right? Cavani doesn't want to be here, but he's just gone about it in a very sensible way that no one's angry with him. For me, I don't even believe that he's that injured. Like it was, his ankle ain't right still and he's got a bad belly. Bad belly! Take some Pepto-Bismol.
I used to play football hangover.
I don't even think he's done it in a sensible way, to be honest. I think the way Pogba's done it is way more sensible than Cavani. Pogba probably want to go, and if he keep putting up these performances at the end of the season, fair enough. Cavani, he's how many? I think what was the stat saying? Like he's missed like 25 games and he's been available for 18 or something like that. That is just
it's one of the reasons why with Cavani and even with Pogba
that's the biggest problem with Pogba.
I would want to look now is they just miss too much game time, and at the end of the day, availability is one of the best abilities, and it's one of the reasons why. If you said to me right now, you can sign Pogba for the next 4 years, but it means Bruno leaves, I'd say no. Bruno's available for 95% of the games, if not more, 99% of the games. And like Pogba's better than him, I think. Overall, as an overall footballer.
The biggest downfall to Pogba is those injuries, man.
Yeah, but
if you think about hold on, one thing. If we're going to talk about Pogba, the thing that kills me about Pogba is like right now we look great, right? When he came back, he started looking good. We started looking better, not great, but we're looking better than we did. And everybody's always talking about, well, look, see, because Pogba's here. Cool. But what would have happened if Pogba was here from the start when Ralph was here? That's the thing. We'd probably be fighting with Chelsea for third. That's our biggest Pogba issue. Is the poor guy can't stay healthy for a whole season, and we're not deep enough. That's the biggest issue with Pogba.
I don't agree with it.
That's all it is. Injuries. You don't?
But when I say I don't agree with it, is because if you listen to what Ralph has been saying, he's been talking about players being rushed back. And this is what's led to Rashford's form. Do you know? If Rashford weren't rushed back in certain scenarios, would his output be better?
I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying Pogba's always hurt. Like he always misses.
But was he hurt initially? What does that come down to? Why is he?
He got hurt playing for France.
No, but why is he playing? No, but listen to what I'm saying. Why is a man playing with a floating bone in his foot? Why is he playing with?
That's fair. That's fair.
You get what I mean? So if you already know he's injured and he's playing with a floating bone, come on, Michael Owen is a perfect example. Right? Get injured, carry on playing. And what happened to Michael Owen? People need to understand, you have to, like Van Persie, great striker, but look at his injury record early on. It's not until his later stages, and then afterwards, as soon as he left United, what did he become after that? People need to understand, it's all about the timing and making sure the players fully prepared, rather than, oh, you know what, Pogba's back on the grass. Pogba does a little, you know, he probably scored a goal in training. Yeah, I think he's fit enough to
But
start.
that's why he's not playing full games now. That's
Yeah,
that's the thing. Ralph's protecting him.
But I get that. And look, the point is, if the damage has been done and he ain't going to get back from that, then it's like it's not even a dig. It's not even a dig at him. It's just, if the damage is done and his body's never going to be good enough now to play or strong enough to play the whole season, and he's going to miss 2-3 months a year, it's a reason to look beyond him, because it doesn't matter how good he is. You know, you look at Thiago at Liverpool. When he plays and he's fit, he's been great, but he's missed large chunks of both seasons, irrespective of how he got injured.
But Terry, how long has Sissoko been on the grass? How long has Pogba been training? Before he even came back, how long has he been back at Claret in training? He's been around for a while now. I think a lot of people forget that he actually has been training. If this was Oli, he would have been playing from December, November. He would have been playing.
Maybe that's it. And to your point, if that recovers him, and if he signs a new 4-year deal, and we get him available for 90 to 95% of games, he's not rushed back when he has little knocks and everything else, then I'm not like, then cool. I just worry that the damage is already kind of done, but we will see. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all tuning in as ever and coming on and having your say, supporting the Football Terrace. No real rivals watching today, which I thought was going to be the case. A big shout out to Boohoo Man. Thank you for sponsoring the show again today. You can get your discount code now, TFT10, for an extra 10% off. Use the link in our description below to get that done. Loads of new clothes available over there. They've got new stuff that comes out every week, to be fair. Gentlemen, legends, thank you for coming on. Everyone,
thank you for having us, bro.
Share button. All the super chatters, a massive thank you to all of you. You're absolute legends. Until next time, take care. Goodbye.